Workflow rules are the automated actions which are performed whenever a condition or a criteria is met. Let me take an example. When we are withdrawing the money from the ATM, automatically you will get a SMS. So and so transaction happened. This is what? Automated. So automatically, when a condition is met, action should be performed. Every month, on a particular day, we are getting a monthly bill. The moment I swipe my credit card, you get an email. So and so transaction happened on your account. Whereas when I make any shopping, immediately you get a alert. Otherwise, whenever there is an offer, automatically you will get send a SMS. So and so offer at so and so showroom. What was this? It is an automated action. Whenever any condition is met, a criteria is met, we want some action to be performed automatically by the system. Such type of actions are defined by workflow rules. Whenever a condition or a criteria is met, we want the system to perform some actions at the back end automatically. We want the system to perform some actions at the back end automatically. They are defined by using workflow rules. How do you define the workflow rule? Look at the process. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow. We are going to click on. Similarly, if you go to Lightning, setup, then we have platform tools, process automation, workflow actions. Yeah, we get workflows, process automation, workflows. Once you make these, remaining things are same. Right. So let us discuss about the points. So what is the navigation? Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflows. New. Now, workflow rule is defined on an object. Workflow rule is defined on an object. On this object, on an object, when a condition or a criteria is met, some action will be performed. So workflow rules are defined on an object. Workflow rules are defined on an object. Now look at this object. Customer. Or let us say lead. It's up to your choice. On the lead I am creating. Workflow rule is defined on an object. Workflow rule is defined on an object. Here we have evaluation criteria. This evaluation criteria will specify when the rule should be verified. On an object, we are giving a evaluation criteria. Whenever this criteria is true, it is going to check the rule. Whenever the rule is true, it is going to perform the action. So what was this? Look at the overall flow first. On an object, on an object, we have evaluation criteria. When the evaluation criteria is true, it will check the rule. When the rule is true, it will perform the action. Now, what type of actions it can perform? What type of action it can perform? Immediate action, and time dependent. On an object, when the evaluation criteria is true, check the rule. When the rule is true, then perform the action. Immediate action, time dependent. Like I told, boss, whenever the condition is met, send the email immediately. Whenever the condition is met, send the email immediately. Whenever the condition is met, perform the action 4 days before the expiry date. Whenever the condition is met, perform the action 4 days after the close date. So we want the action to be performed at a particular time. Then we go for time dependent action. We want the action to be performed immediately. Then we go for immediate action. On an object, when the criteria is true, check the rule. When the rule is true, perform the action. When the rule is true, perform the action. Immediate action, time dependent action. This is the overall flow. On an object, when evaluation is true, check the rule. When the rule is true, perform the action. Now, same thing we are going to discuss step by step. We know how to choose an object. Next, we have evaluation criteria. What is this evaluation criteria? This will specify when should I check the rule. If the evaluation criteria is true, I am going to check the rule. I am going to check. Mute your mics. Do not disturb the class. These are the three options what we have. Created and every time it is edited. Created and anytime it is edited to subsequently meet the criteria. Now, out of these three options, I was supposed to choose any one. Out of these three options, I was supposed to choose any one. Now, what is the first one here? Created. If I choose this, whenever a new record is created, let us say Wipro, I have a rule saying amount greater than 5,000. I created Wipro. When a new record is created, then check the rule. Then same record modified. Wipro. Wipro 50,000 is modified to Wipro 50,000 is modified to Wipro 34,000. Wipro 50,000 is modified to Wipro 34,000. Don't check. Check the rule only when a new record is created. If I choose the first option, only when a new record is created, it will check the rule. If you modify the existing record, it will not check the rule. If I choose the first option, Only when a new record is created, it will check the rule. If the existing record is modified, it will not check the rule. Let us go to the next one. If I choose this, Wipro 50,000. Create. If it is created, check the rule. When a new record is created, check the rule. Then, now we are not worried whether rule is true or false. Should I check the rule or not is the question. Whether rule is true or false, we are not worried. Now, I am modifying this record. You got here. Wipro. We modify. If you modify the rule, so every time the record is modified, modified. $9,000. Pro. What happened? Every time you create a new record or you modify the existing record, it will check the rule. If you create a new record, it will check. If the existing record is modified also, it will check. Every time you modify the existing record also, it will check the rule. Whenever you create a new record, it will check the rule. If the existing record is modified also, it will check the rule. Third one. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Wipro. $50,000. Create. Wipro 50,000. Create. Check the rule. Now I modify. Modify 50,000 to Wipro. Now, which record did you modify? Wipro 50,000. Record which you are modifying, is it already meeting the condition? What is the condition? Amount greater than 5,000. Is that record is already meeting the condition? Amount greater than 5,000 is the condition I give. I gave a condition, amount greater than 5,000. Now, what is the record I modified? This record I modified. This record I modified as Wipro 90,000. When you modified this record which you are modifying, is it already meeting the condition? Look at it. Wipro 50,000 is already greater than 5,000. When the record is already meeting the condition, if you modify that record, don't check the rule. Record which is already meeting the condition, if that record is verified, don't check. Record which is already meeting a condition, Wipro 50,000 is the record. It is already meeting the condition. If you modify that record, don't check the rule. Record which is already meeting the condition, if you modify that record, don't check the rule. You're going to have. Now, which record is modified? Wipro 9,000. Wipro 90,000. This is the record which I am trying to modify. Wipro 90,000, is it already meeting the condition? The record which is already meeting the condition, that is modified as Wipro 3,000. So don't check the rule. If the record is already meeting the condition, if you modify that record, don't check the rule. Then again, Wipro 3000. Modified to 80,000. Now, record which is not meeting the condition. Wipro 3000 is the record which I am modifying. Is the Wipro 3000 is meeting the condition? No. The record which is not meeting the condition, if you modify that record, so what was that? Any record which was newly created, I will check. And any record which is not meeting the condition already, any record which is not meeting the condition already, if I modify that record, I will check the rule. Any record which is newly created, I will check. Any record which is not meeting the condition, if it is modified, I will check the rule. So the record which is not obeying the rule, if that record is modified, I will check. First one, only when a new record is created. Second one, when a new record is created or every time you modify the existing record. Third one, when a new record is created or if you modify any one of the existing record which is not obeying the rule. So these are the three options. Out of three, we have to choose any one. This is called evaluation criteria. This is called evaluation criteria. This is what we got here. If I choose the second option, you cannot create time-based action. If I choose the second option, time-based actions are not supported. Now, condition, rule. Now I have to define a rule. We can define the rule in two ways. One is simple rule by using a criteria, where I can say city equal to. I can say simple rule. Second one is I can assign by using a formula. If it is a complex, we can go with a formula based. If it is a simple, criteria based. Formula, if it is a complex. Criteria, if it is simple. Now I told, if criteria is true, then perform the action. What is the action we have? Immediate action and time dependent action. What is that immediate action? When the rule is true, perform these actions instantly. What are time dependent? Actions are performed as per the time you specify. I hope you are good with this. Is the flow was clear? Now come back to the beginning again. How do you define the workflow rules? Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflows. New rule, specify the object, then specify the evaluation criteria, then specify the rule, then perform the action. I hope you are good. On object, evaluation criteria, true, verify the rule is true, perform the action. Now the point here is, what type of actions are there? What type of actions are there? First one, we'll go with the task. What is the task? Assigning a work to a user. And ask him, okay, setting the deadline for completion. We are assigning a work to a user, role, or owner, and we are setting the deadline for the completion. We are assigning the work to a user or a role or a owner, setting the deadline for completion of the work. Then how do you do that? Look at this. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals. What we have? New task. Task can be created only on those objects on which we have allow activities option enabled. If you remember, at the time of creating a custom object, we had an option allow reports, allow activities. If you enable allow activities option, then only we can create a task. Task can be created only on those objects on which we have allow activities option enabled. Now let's take let us say course. Assign the task to whom? User, role. I told assign a task to student. Subject, schedule a call. When it should be completed? Course start date plus 5. Whatever the course start date we are given, within 5 days you have to complete the schedule a call. What is the status? Not started. Priority. So, are you getting my point? Assigning a work to someone, specifying the deadline. Okay. How do you define the task again? Setup, build, create, workflows, task, new task, choose object, assign the task to due date, then go with right. This is how we have created. Now go to the workflow rule again. Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules, new workflow, object. New course. Whenever a new course is created with fee greater than 10,000, whenever a new course is created with a fee greater than 10,000, then perform the action. What is the action we have? I can create a new task or add existing action. I can create a new task directly, or I can add existing task. Already we created a task, right? Go there and select. I have chosen one of the existing tag. Or else you can also go with adding a new task. New task, you can create. If tasks are existing, you can add them. Otherwise, you can create them directly there. Okay. Are you clear about this? Now, once you have created this, we need to enable it. Once we created it, what is the option we have? Active. Or else you can also add time-based ticket. Now, what is that? When the rule is true, 3 days after the rule date, when the action should be performed, after 3 days, action should be performed. What is the action we want to perform? Task, schedule a call. So this action will be performed when? After 3 days. This is what? Immediate action. This is what? After 3 days. So when the rule is true, we are assigning a task. One is immediate task, another one is scheduled task. One is immediate task, another one is a time dependent. After 3 days, assign the task. Activate. Now, if it is immediately, it will run like the person who created. But you are asking me to run after 3 days. When you are asking me to run after 3 days, I have to run like whom? If it is immediate, I will run like the person who created. After 3 days, you are asking me to run. After 3 days, the task has to run like whom? Select Satish. Okay. Now go to the course. When our new record is created, task is assigned. What is that? Book appointment. Assigned to Satish. What was this? Open activities. On the record, if you go to open activities, we can see the task which is assigned. I also gave one more task, right? What is it? Schedule appointment. But that is scheduled after 3 days. I told you, assign the task after 3 days, not immediately. After 3 days, you run it. That is the reason only one task you are able to see. Now on the record, we are able to see. But how does I see all the tasks which are assigned to me? How do you see all the tasks which are assigned to you? Because I cannot go to every record and check which task is assigned to me. So go to home. What you are finding here? My task. You are able to see the task. You schedule what are the tasks today, tomorrow. Then you are able to see the tasks. Okay. This is what? Immediate. When the rule is true, immediately it is assigned. But the point here is, I told assign the task after 3 days. How do you know whether they are running or not? I cannot wait for 3 days and see whether the rule is running properly or not. If it is immediate, task is assigned, I was able to see. If it is a time dependent, how do I check whether they are running or not? If they are time dependent, how do I check they are running or not? So what I will do? Setup, monitor, time based, then we have condition. Object equals to we give, look at this, new course. Now task is scheduled here. When it was scheduled? When was the task scheduled? 12th 1 2018. Now I was able to see here a new task is pending, which was scheduled. How can you check it? If you want, you can cancel that. How can you check it? Monitor, time-based workflow rule, give the condition, you will be able to see the tasks which are scheduled here. I hope you are good. If it is immediate, I can go to the record and check. If it is time-based, then they are not going to be displayed now. I want to check whether they are running or not. So what I can do? Setup, monitor, time-based workflow, and I can see the action. I hope you are good. What was the task then? What is the task? Assigning a work to a particular user, specifying a deadline when it has to be completed. Assigning a task to a particular user and specifying when the task has to be completed, right? So whenever the condition is met or a criteria is met, we are going to assign some immediate action or a time dependent action. Immediate actions are going to run now. Time dependent actions are going to be performed on the scheduled time. Right. Whatever the tasks that are assigned to you, you can go to the home page, cross check. What are the tasks assigned on the record? I can go to the record, I can see them like open activities. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? People have followed this? Okay. Now, I have some key points and issues what I encountered while working on the tasks. I have some issues which I encountered while working with the workflows tasks. The issues are, let us see. Manager. Look at the point. On a task, owner will be only one person. On a task, owner will be only one person. On every task, owner should be only a particular user. On a task, owner should be only a particular user. I cannot make a group of people as a owner. On a task, owner will be a particular user. Only I can make a particular user as a owner. Then I told workflow rule. Role if city equal to Hyderabad. Role action. Assign a task. Book appointment. To role. If city equal to Hyderabad, then I told assign a task, book appointment to the user, okay, to the people called managers. Now I created a new record. Wipro, Hyderabad. When I create a new record, city equal to Hyderabad, then task is assigned. Task is assigned. What is the task? Book appointment. To whom should be assigned? Task is assigned to whom? Manager. How many people are there with the role called manager? Only one person. So it is assigned to Sham. Who is the responsible person for completing this? Sham is the responsible person. Now I have created one more workflow rule. If city equal to Bangalore, actions. Assign a task. What is the task? Book appointment. Assign to whom? Assign to the role clerk. Then I created a new record. Wipro, Bangalore. Now the record I created, name, city. This is a record what I created. When I create this record, verify the rule. Verify the rule. Rule is if city equal to Bangalore, rule is verified. Condition is true. Then task is assigned. What is the task we got? Book appointment. To whom it is assigned? It is assigned to the role called clerk. But how many people are there with the role called clerk? There are 3 people. Now to whom should I assign? If we assign a task to a role, when there are more than one person with the same role, to whom should I assign? If we assign a task to a role and role has more than one user, to whom should I assign? So we should assign to the owner of the record. When the task is assigned to a role has more than one user, then whoever is the owner of the record, he will be the owner of the task. Task is assigned to a role has more than one user. In that case, whoever is the owner of the record, he will be the owner of the task. When a task is assigned to a role and role has more than one user, then Whoever is the owner of the task, whoever is the owner of the record, he will be the owner of the task. Whoever is the owner of the record, he is the owner of the task. Are you getting my point here? Are you getting my point? Whenever a task is assigned to a role has more than one user. Whoever is the owner of the record, he will be the owner of the task. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Clear? Okay. Got it? Task is assigned to role has only one user. Task is assigned to role has more than one user. If it is more than one user, whoever is the owner, for him we are going to assign it. Okay. Let us go to the next one. Now, look at the next context. I have a queue. In the queue, I have Sham, Ram. Right. I have a workflow. Evaluation. What is evaluation? Created and every time edited. Rule. What is the rule? CD equal to Hyderabad. Action. To whom you are assigning? Now I have a record. Wipro. Name city owner. Owner. This is the owner of the record. This record is modified. This record is modified as TCS. First, try to get the point. Wilson modified this record to TCS Hyderabad. Then, when you modified, what is the evaluation criteria? Created and every time it is edited. Once the record is edited, check the rule. City equal Hyderabad, yes. Then automatically what happened? Task is assigned. Task is assigned. What is the task we have? Call me. To whom the task is assigned? So who is the owner of the task? Faraj is the owner of the task. I hope everyone is clear. Right. I hope everyone is clear. Clear about this. Now let us look at the next record. Let us look at the next record. Now we have Wilson. Look at the rule. Assign the task to owner. Here the owner of the record is HRT. Now previously a particular user is the owner, but here who is the owner? Q is the owner. Owner of the record can be a user or a Q. So what the Wilson has done? Wilson modified the record as TCS. HRT. Wilson modified the record as HRT. Wilson modified the record as HRT. So Wilson modified the record. Wilson modified the record as TCS. Okay, HRT. Whenever the record is modified, check the workflow rule. When the workflow rule is verified, what we are getting here? Task is assigned. Call me. Task should be assigned to whom? Owner. But who is the owner? Q. Then what will happen? If a task is assigned to a owner is a Q, then the person who initiated this operation, Wilson. When a task is assigned to a owner is a Q, then the person who initiated this operation, he will be the owner of the task. Are you getting my point? This okay. Generally, when you take a assign to a user, there is no problem. But we encounter this type of situations where the owner is a Q, where assigned to a role has more than one user. This type of issues we have faced. In that we identified to whom the tasks are assigned. Are you getting my point? When a task is assigned to a owner, there is a possibility of owner being a Q. There is a possibility of owner being a Q. If owner is a Q, then to whom the task is assigned? Then the user who initiated this operation, he will be the owner of the task. Whenever task is assigned to a owner and owner is a Q, then whoever is the user who initiated this operation, he will be the owner of the task. I hope you are good with this. So task is assigned to a user. If a task is assigned to a user, there is no problem. If a task is assigned to a role, we had an issue. If role has only one user, no problem. If role has more than one user, we had an issue. Then whoever is the owner of the record, he is the owner of the task. If a task is assigned to a owner, if owner is a person, no issue. If owner is a person, no issue. If owner is a Q, then I have an issue. Then whoever is the user who initiated this operation, he is the owner of the task. I hope you are good. Clear for everyone? Everyone has followed? So task is assigned. When the rule is met, we want to assign some task. Task is nothing but assigning a work to someone, specifying when the work should be completed. The task can be assigned to a user, a role, or a owner. If it is assigned to the user, he is the owner of the task. Assigned to the role, and the role has only one person, he is the owner of the task. Role has multiple users, then owner of the record is the owner of the task. If it is assigned to owner, if owner is a person, he is the owner of the task. If owner is a queue, then whoever is the user who initiated the operation, he will be the owner of the task. These are some of the scenarios which we encountered while assigning a task. In general, if we assign to a owner will be a person. We will assign to a particular owner or a user general. But if we assign to a roles, in some cases we get this type of situations. I hope you are good with this. Yeah. Queue creation is there, no? Queue. Now we created a queue on an object. We assigned a queue as a owner. The owner of the record can be, who can be the owner? A person or a queue. If a owner is a queue, okay, then a record is modified, task is assigned to owner, then what will happen? Now we have done a concept called public group and queues, if you remember. Now who is the owner here? Is it a person? Who is that? Q is the owner. Now task is assigned to owner. Now who will be the owner of the task? Q. But I cannot assign to Q. Then what will happen? Person who initiated the operation, he will be the owner of the task. I hope you're good. It has nothing to do with public group. Owner will be a user or Q. Owner will be a user or a Q. Nothing to do with public group. Pardon me? You'll be finding on the record. No. Now you are modifying it, right? You are modifying it, right? Now when you modify the record, when the record is modified, you modified it. Okay, you modified it, or else based on the task you need to check it out. Okay. Now look at this. I told there is a, we can assign the owner of the record. I told you 3 processes. We can assign the owner of the record. Whoever is creating the record, he will be the owner. Or else we have lead assignment rules, which is deciding the owner of the record. Or else I told you using triggers, we can assign the owner of the record. When a record is created, based on the trigger, it will decide the owner of the record and assign. Okay. So when you create the record, doesn't mean that you will be owner always. Now, as per your business rules, owner should be decided. I can go with the assignment rules on case or lead. I can go with the triggers to assign the owner in case of other objects. Okay. So when you create a new record, you have some rules to decide the owner. Then we need to go for triggers and write the program. Okay. What my point? Generally, we are creating a record. Whoever is creating the record, he will become the owner. Now, you don't want him to become a owner. You want somebody else to become a owner. Then you have to automate it. By using what? Assignment rules are by using your triggers. Okay. I hope people have followed the task concept. When the task can be created only on those objects on which allow activities option is enabled. Task can be created only on those objects on which allow activities option is enabled. I hope you are good. Okay. Now, let us go to the second action. What is the second type of action we have? We want to go for email alerts. When the rule is true, I want to send an email notification. When the rule is true, I want to send an email notification. So if you want to send an email notification, what should I do? Create email template first. I want to send an email notification. When the rule is true, I want to send a notification. Let us say new customer registered. Then send a notification to him. Boss, welcome to our community. Now new case is registered. Now send a confirmation mail. We registered your complaint. This is the case number. Right? You inquired about a new product. Thanks for inquiring with us. Our agent will get back within 48 hours. Now what was that? You want to send some email response to the person. When the condition is met, you want to send an email alert. It is a second action. Whenever the evaluation criteria is true, check the rule. Whenever the rule is true, perform the action. My action is sending an email. If I want to send an email, first I have to create a template. Every time I cannot create a body of the email. So we'll have predefined templates. We'll be sending them. So how to create your own templates? First question. Setup, administer, communication templates. Then we have email templates. Setup, administer, communication templates, email templates. New email template. Now, text. Now I want to create a template. So what was the template? New course is registered with the following details. Now, in the email, I want to send the data of the record on which the workflow rule is running. On that record, data I want to use in the template. So what I was doing, here we are able to see here. Select object, course, select the fields. This is called merge fields. What was that called? Merge field. Merging the fields of the record in the email. I got a field called fee. Have a preview. Then this is a template what I created. Then let us see. I will try to create a workflow rule. How do you create a workflow rule? Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow. New rule. Created. Enroll if fees greater than 10,000. Action, email alert. Course registration, email template. Right. Then we are sending the email to whom? Specify the user. Specify the user to whom you want to send. So I want to send to the owner of the record I want to send. Apart from these people, if you want to send the email to anyone else, their email address has to be added here. We can choose any one of these people. Apart from this, if you want to send to anyone else, their email address should be added here. Now, current user's email address. Whatever the email address of the current user is there, that will be used as from address. Activate. So I have created this. First, I need to identify what is the email address what I have created. Satish Mala notes. So basically, If the condition is true, email need to be sent. New course registration. This is how we create. Right, boss? So what was that? Sending a assignment, sending a record, sending a record. I hope you are good with this. I hope you are good with this format. So what I am doing, whenever the condition is met, I want to send email. Whenever the condition is met, I want to send an email. Now let us do one more time.
Satish, in this owner means owner of the customer object, right?
Yeah, owner of the record.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
I don't want to send the email to the owner. Now I want to send the email to the student himself. Let us say we have, here I am giving a field. So go back to the students. Whatever the email address I have given, to that email address only email has to go. Now I want to create an email template with some HTML structures. How do you create that? If you are using a HTML structure, we have some HTML codes. What is that? B for what? Bold. I for italic. BR means go to the next line. B for bold. I for italic. BR means next line. If I want to give a font, style, color. Now, what was that? Some basic HTMLs. B means bold, I means italic, BR means go to next line, font, size and color. We are trying to use this. New template, HTML. Student. Go to the next line. Your registration. Basically, we are just typing the information. Done. So we are going to enter some basic information here. We are supposed to apply merge fields. What are the merge fields we have? Look at the fields what we have. Course, branch. Some basic information. Here I am applying some HTML codes just to tell that it's a HTML template boss. Bold and italic. We have I gave some template, have a preview. We got some structure like this. Right, this is the email template. So how are you creating this now? How are you creating this now? Go to the workflow rule creation. How do you create a workflow rule? Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules, new workflow rule, and which object you are creating, student object. Now, created. Now I'm giving formula. I'm giving it is blank of. If the email field is not blank, not of is blank. If the email is not blank, then send the notification. If the email field is not blank, then send the notification. I can write the criteria based or formula based. Action, email alert. What is the email template we have? Student registration. To whom you want to send? Whatever the email address you entered in the student record, to that email address we have to send. Email field. So whatever the email address we entered there, to the same email address we want to send. Activate. Go to the student. So whatever the email address I have entered, the same email address the email has to be sent. Student registration with the following data. Now the font size are increased, bold, italic we are getting because we use some of the HTML elements. You want to organize the body in a proper way, we'll go with HTML. Right. Now we are sending a notification. We are sending a notification. What was that? Whenever the condition is true, we are sending email alert. How are you creating? Build, create, workflows and approvals, workflow rules. Then what we are supposed to do? A new rule, choose the object. Then we had evaluation criteria, created, and every time it is edited, created, anytime it is edited to see, okay, subsequently with the criteria, choose any one. Then define the rule here, criteria based or formula based. If it is a criteria, which fields I can use? My fields, my master record fields, and the current user who logged in. Now I give active equals to. Now how many conditions you can give? 25 conditions we can give. If it is a criteria based, how many conditions we can give? 25. How many rules we can define? 25. For a single rule, 25 conditions we can define. Then action. What type of actions we have? Immediate actions or time based action. What are the action? Task, email, field update, outbound. Or we can choose any one of the existing action. Task, email, field update, outbound. Okay. Now the question here is, how many emails we can send? User can send 1000 emails per day using this process. User can send 1000 emails on his name. Organization can send 2 million emails. Your company can send 2 million records, 2 million emails on the organization name. But user can send 1000 emails per day on his name. Suppose daily limit is crossed. What will happen to the email? Now, if daily limit is crossed, the emails are discarded. They will be simply discarded. They will not be rescheduled. Per day, how many emails we can send? 1000 emails per user. Organization, 2 lakh emails. Organization, 2 lakh emails. I hope you are good with this. Clear? Clear for everyone? Am I clear with this? Right? Pardon me? In the template, we have attachment also, no? When you go to the email templates, here we have attachments also. Attachments. Pardon me? 2 million. 2 million. Right. Any other queries from your end? So this is about the workflow, task, and email alert. Still, we are left with field updates and outbound. Outbound is a third-party system. Just we need to have URL for it. But okay, field update is a major concept. So tomorrow we'll see field update and time-based action and the corresponding relations with the time-based action. All right. Any other query from your end on this?
Yes.
Yes.
1 minute, online. Just
Can I define the two?
online 1 minute. Come again? No, SMS you have to write integration. We don't have any SMS functionality here. It's a built-in. If you want to go for SMS, you need to go for web services. Right. Any other queries from the classroom? So by next week, I'll be closing the administration. We'll be starting the development. Probably next complete week I'll be taking for administration. Next week will be approval process, reports and dashboards, and a process builder. Approval process, reports and dashboards, data loader, and a process builder. That will be the topics which I'm going to cover next week. With that, we'll be closing that administrative work. We'll be coming back to the development. So I'll be starting the development from 10th. That's oops. Now the CRM terminology, cloud process, I'll be discussing along with the development activities. So next week, by 7th or 8th, I'll be finishing off this administrative core topics. Then I'll be going to the OOPS concept on December 10th. December 10th, I'll be starting with the OOPS concept. Right. Fine. That's all from my end.
Satish, the emails for the organization you mentioned the 2 million, 1 million or 2 million per day. What does that mean? Is it a domain account or?
Organization. From organization, all the mails together. All the automation mails together, 2 million. All the emails that are generated by the system based on your automation, maximum it can be 2 million emails.
Oh, okay. Overall, okay. And the other one, the scheduler, the emails we can, the tasks and triggers, immediate and as well as the time bound. Somewhere I have seen AWS. Is
No, it's a
the
course.
scheduler?
It is a course name I have given the name of the course as AWS.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's not okay.
No,
Amazon Cloud.
Yeah, it's name of the only is the name. No need to install any SMTP server here. It's a built-in SMTP server. So for sending the emails, we don't require any external SMTP servers. It has got a built-in SMTP server.
Satish, hi.
Yeah. Yes.
If a admin creates a new user,
Okay.
we need to send an email.
Okay.
So you have, as per your concept, we need to create in the contact a new workflow rule, and by this we can achieve it.
No, no. So now a new user is created. When a new user is created, automatically there is a built-in rule which will send an email to the user. No need to externally define it.
No,
Now,
if normally not
when you
predefined, but if you
no, no.
want to do it means.
Let us clarify one thing. When you say user, you are creating a user and user object as an employee, right?
Mhm.
Am I right? You're speaking about the same user.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you create automatically, there's a built-in rule which is sending the email notification to the registered user. If we create a new user, automatically we have a built-in alert which will send a email to the corresponding customer to activate the account.
Yes, Satish, I understood that one. But if you want to, like, suppose a different mail, like whatever,
Then
uh,
then you need to go for a workflow rule. You want to have
suppose there is, yeah,
I got
suppose
it.
there is no
What?
built-in role. So we need to do means go for workflow role with the contact one, right?
Yeah. See, now 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 the point is, if you want to generate any email of your choice, then you are supposed to go for workflow. If you want to send any custom email of your choice, you need to go for workflow. I hope you got my point.
Yes, Satish. Yeah.
Satish, this is Sridhar.
Yeah.
Satish, on the evaluation criteria, we have three types of evaluation criteria, right?
Yes.
When we choose the third one, if the existing record already met the rule, then we are not evaluating one more time, right?
Yeah. The rule says
Part of
only one
part of
time.
that
Yeah. Go ahead.
part of that process, let us say the user updated back to the a value which is not meeting the condition, right? Even in that case,
Doesn't
the
matter.
rules are going to
Now
get
see.
triggered.
Now the point is, if the action is already performed on the record, I will not perform.
That is right, Satish. Let us say the action is having that amount greater than 5,000.
If you modify it, I will not
From
perform the action.
90,000, right, 90,000 to 1 lakh, if we modify, the action will not get performed. That is one way. If the amount is modified to 3,000, right, which is less than 5,000, in that case, the rules are going to get triggered
No,
because
no.
anyway we are
Now
not
see.
evaluating, right?
No, no. It is going to check on the old value, not on the new value. Rule is verified on the old value, not on the new value.
That is correct. In this case, the rules will get triggered.
No, it will not be triggered because the old value is what? Old value is 90,000, no?
Old value 90,000. Based on that, anyway, the rules were triggered earlier. Now, part of this process is modifying it to 3,000.
Let me make it simple.
Yeah.
Right. 50,000. Right? Now your rules
Okay.
is greater than 10,000. Now I am modifying this record. What is your old value?
Old
50,000 is
value
the
is let us.
50,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
The 50,000 you are modifying as 90,000. Now rules are verified on this, not on this.
That is correct. Let us say now if we modify it to 3,000, right?
Yeah,
Actually, what will
modified to
happen?
3,000. Now rule will be verified on what? 90,000.
Yes. Yeah. According to
Now
that, the rules are supposed to get triggered
it will
based
not be
on the
triggered.
evaluation
No,
criteria.
it will not be triggered. No, already it is meeting 90,000. No, 90,000 is already the value is already meeting the
Right. Okay.
condition. No, okay. If the value is not meeting the condition, then if I modify this 3,000 to 6,000, also it will trigger.
It will trigger now.
Yeah. Yes. Field dependency, amma. Field dependency. Pick list field dependency. You know. Now, so here, this is this all values belongs to one pick list. This all values belongs to one pick list. Create a field dependency. Yeah.
Satish, I have a question. Like,
1 minute.
for
1 minute.
suppose
1 minute.
while send
1 minute. 1 minute, please. చెప్తాను వన్ ఆఫ్ తిరిగి ఉంటుంది టైం ఉన్నప్పుడు కాన్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంటారు
అంటే ఏంటంటే నేను బిజినెస్ సర్వీస్ కింద వర్క్ చేస్తాను సో డెవలప్మెంట్ ఐ వాంట్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ ఆన్ అడ్మిన్ అయిపోయింది అంటే So I want to learn the CRM.
That will be hardly 1.5 day. That's all. Okay. So, but when we discuss in terms of project, we get more clarity. That's the reason I pulled for some time.
అది మిడిల్లో వస్తుందండి డెవలప్మెంట్ చెప్తున్నప్పుడు.
Yeah, when we are going too much of theoretical, I'll go with too much of programming. To give a break, I'll be giving you. Okay. I'll schedule it. So, I'll schedule it. Yeah.
సరే ఇది ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఇవన్నీ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్
Once you get into development, you have to start.
సో అడ్మిన్కి అవసరం లేదు సార్.
Le-
అడ్మిన్కి చేసేటప్పుడు
Once you get into development, you have to start.
ఇప్పుడు హియర్ పైన ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఉంది కదండి
అవును.
ప్రొఫైల్. సో సేమ్ ప్రొఫైల్ ఈ ప్రొఫైల్ ఏదైతే ప్రొఫైల్ ఉందో
Hmm.
అదే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ కి వ్యూ ఆల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మీకు అదే అదర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ కూడా సేమ్ కదా. వ్యూ ఆల్ డేటా ఉంది కదా, ఆల్ డేటాబేస్ అన్నారు. సో అదర్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఇది సేమ్.
View all data ante on all the database.
ఓకే,
View all is only that particular object.
దే కెన్ పర్ఫార్మ్ రీడ్ ఆపరేషన్ అదర్ రికార్డ్స్ ఆల్సో
Other record
ఆఫ్
here,
దట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్, రైట్?
obviously record of table. It is all tables. Okay.
అండ్ వాట్ అబౌట్ దిస్ డిఫరెంట్ బిట్వీన్ యూనిఫై అండ్
Same.
సేమ్?
Now you can see, you can edit, delete also. Okay.
సార్ టూ కానీ సిసి కానీ బీసీసీ కానీ అలా
Allowed. Templates don't. No. Programmatic చేసుకోవచ్చు. Yeah. Now, yeah, go ahead, VK.
I believe some of the person asked the same question, like, can we configure this while sending the mails to and BCC ones?
No,
So
no,
where
you will not be.
okay.
Okay.